Hi, my name is Stephen Sindoni. Thank you for tuning into our broadcast entitled Crystal Energy Revealed. In today's program, many of you viewing this program may think that the current interest in crystals is a fad of the times, an ephemeral new age fashion statement with little basis or substance. Crystals have been recognized for their special qualities since the dawn of time. They've been regarded as powerful tools for knowledge and healing in nearly every culture, every civilization, on every continent, and recognized for having special qualities ever since humans first walked on the earth. Perhaps the most sacred stone of all, with a history that goes back 100,000 years, is red ochre, the earthy iron ore often associated with hematite and magnetite. Red ochre was mined over thousands of years at sites in South Africa. Millions of tons of material were removed by hand using simple stone digging tools like antler picks. When the mine eventually became exhausted, the shafts and holes were carefully filled again. From Africa to France to Wales, red ochre has been found in the graves of Neanderthal peoples and later in the burials of Cro-Magnon man or modern Homo sapiens. From Australia to North America, red ochre is a substance associated with life energy, power, and were considered sacred. The Australian Aborigines see crystal as sacred. They are an essential part of the initiation rites of healers and shamans. Quartz crystals, called wild stones, are associated with the rainbow serpent, an important mythological figure of northern Australia linked to water, rain, fertility, and the iridescence of mother of pearl. The supreme god, Bayami, is the source of many healers and magicians' power and is connected with quartz crystal. The throne Bayami sits on and is made of clear crystal, fragments of which are said to have fallen to earth, where they can still be sometimes found. Among the native tribes of North America, crystals are held in high regard as objects of great healing and spiritual power. They are considered different from other stones and were known to some as Waiipe, or living rocks. Native burials as old as 8,000 years have been found to contain quartz crystals. The Cherokee name for crystal means light that pierces through, and quartz was seen as a primary tool for revealing information and conveying messages. Sometimes the crystals would be positioned so that they caught the sun's first rays. When the light from the stone fell, indicated the required answer. To reveal the outcome of a hunt or a war party or the future of a community, the holy man would, after appropriate ritual, gaze into the stone. Healers would warm a crystal over a fire and then lay it over a patient's body, looking through the quartz to determine the main areas of illness. Next, the crystal would be placed in sunlight to reveal the cause of the illness, and by turning the crystals to look through the different faces, the means to a cure were found. Crystals were also rubbed between the healer's hands and then placed on a patient's body to remove pain. It is said that very often the whole body would vibrate and shake until the pain left, leaving it relaxed and peaceful. The coastal Miwok near San Francisco had a very large quartz crystal of great power. On special occasions, it was woken up by a shaman who would go to a particular rock in the Pacific Ocean and strike the crystal as hard as possible. Tribal tradition was that if the crystal shattered, the world would end. And in Central America, the Central American Indians, such as the Aztecs, the Toltecs, and the Mixtecs and Mayans, held turquoise in the highest regard. It was used exclusively for decorating the images of their gods and for offerings. The tribes of the Southwest United States also value turquoise for its protective and strengthening qualities. Turquoise is seen as a link between heaven and earth, as the deep blue of the sky buried within the ground, so it is an ideal offering to the spirits. And even though we know little about the highly developed civilizations that grew up in Central and South America, in the 1,000 years or so before the arrival of the Europeans. Even the Aztecs at the time of the Spanish conquest knew little about the people who had built and deserted the magnificent cities like Teotihuacan. It is clear from what remains of these Central and South American cultures that stoneworking was a valued craft. Turquoise, obsidian, and jade objects have been found, as well as a few gold artifacts that escaped from being shipped to Europe to be melted down. It is clear that mica played an important role in the ritual procedures of the builders of Teotihuacan. The large central pyramid of the sun was originally capped with mica that no doubt would have reflected sunlight like sheets of glass. More mysterious is the nearby so-called Mica Temple where, on lifting the stone blocks covering the floor, archaeologists found two massive slabs of mica, each 90 feet square meters. Over 1,000 years ago, the builders traveled 2,000 miles to Brazil in order to mine this stone. On their return, they laid it down and covered it from sight. Obviously, mica served much more than a decorative function. Jade is also found to be associated with rituals and religious and royal sites. At the Mayan city of Palenque in Mexico, there is a famous building known as the Temple of Inscriptions. Here the Sun Lord Pakal was buried in the year 683, a well-loved ruler who had died at the age of 80. His tomb beneath the temple had striking similarities in design to Egyptian pyramid architecture. And farther south, among the tribespeople of the Colombian rainforest, quartz crystal is regarded as condensed solar energy in which a shaman can detect many different colors or energies that can be manipulated and balanced in order to ensure continuing harmony and abundance within the environment. Indeed, the hexagonal shape of quartz crystals reflects, for the Tucano and Desana people, the model of order and organization for every level of their existence. The crystal is an important blueprint because within the regular hexagonal form exist the constantly changing colors and patterns of light, symbolizing the energies of dynamic change within the order of existence. The use of gemstones for healing had the longest recorded history in India and may have influenced European systems via Greek and Arab trade contacts. The origin of gemstones is described in many ancient texts. In one text, the light that spreads out from the creator of the universe is reflected and transmitted to Earth through each of the planets. These rays are collected by gemstones and radiated into their surroundings to energize anyone nearby. The Bible contains references to crystals and gemstones in many places. Sometimes the writer uses familiar stones as an effective way to describe color. In other places, gemstones are used to suggest great riches and wealth. In Exodus chapter 28, the Lord gives very detailed instructions on how to make the breastplate of judgment for the high priest to wear. And thou shalt make the breastplate of judgment with cunning work, and thou shalt set it in settings of stone, even 4 rows of stones. The first row shall be of sardonyx, a topaz, and a carbuncle, and the second row shall be an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond, and the third row a ligure, an agate, and an amethyst, and the fourth row a beryl, and an onyx, and a jasper. Thou shalt be set in gold in their enclosings. And the legend of Atlantis and other civilizations of the distant past carry little credence in academic circles, yet in several books about crystals and crystal healing, Atlantis is talked about as if its historical existence is widely accepted. Some writers believe that linking crystals with Atlantis is all the validation that therapy needs to establish its credentials. For the present, Atlantis remains a powerful myth. All the same, it is a myth worth examining. Whether described as an island in the Atlantic or a planet now destroyed, the stories are often similar. The channeling of Edgar Cayce describing huge crystals initially used for communication between dimensions that would develop to generate power and energy throughout Atlantis. The Firestone or Great Crystals were housed in a dome which could concentrate the sun's rays into the crystals, thus creating tremendous energy. Some say the selfish manipulation of these crystals precipitated the changes that destroyed the civilization. Other sources describe development of the use of crystals from an earlier civilization called Lemuria. Here the inhabitants dwelled close to nature and experienced a multi-dimensional consciousness in time and space where awareness of both physical and subtle dimensions existed simultaneously. Gemstones were used to focus and modify consciousness, assisting the physical energies of the body, much like a kind of subtle nutrition, and also amplifying thought. Healing priests are also mentioned who are able to bring about new states of awareness using crystals such as amethyst, diamond, quartz, and jade, alongside technical advances like flying machines, long-distance communication, and genetic engineering. There were those who worked with the non-physical dimensions and the inhabitants of subtle realms of the planet. Special groves were created in order that those who wished could spend time in communication with these realms, invisible beings, and learn to share information between kingdoms. These areas were created around hot springs and healing streams with numerous fountains and cascades to cleanse and maintain large arrangements and structures of crystals that allowed communication to take place. These crystal groves are said to have contained quartz crystals supplemented with emerald, ruby, lapis lazuli, pearl, amber, gold, and silver. So in summary, how can we today use these crystals for our benefit? We can begin in our homes by protecting our boundaries with agate. Agate is a brilliant crystal to use whenever you need a security guard for your home. Whether you call upon agate's power of protection to deter unwanted visitors or intrusive neighbors, this crystal is renowned for keeping boundaries intact. It is a particularly grounding stone, bringing a sense of security and sanctuary. Some traditions believed that agate made a person invisible to others. You can harness this gift by using this stone to help you go about your business with discretion and without feeling constantly observed or overlooked by neighbors. Agate is therefore a great antidote to the goldfish bowl syndrome of many modern homes and will help you anytime you need privacy. Agate can be used as a crystal cure. It'll make you feel secure in the area surrounding your home. All you need to do is to bury a handful of small agate crystals on each side of your gate or driveway, and then bury one at each corner of the boundary of your garden or yard. This will literally activate the grounding quality of the stone. As you place the agates in the earth, ask the stones to help solve your problem and give you the peace and safety you desire in your space. Let the crystals do their work and notice how happy you feel as you walk through your space, as you sense the protective shield the agates have cast around the perimeter of your property. For an immediate energy lift in your home and to restore its loving vibrations after an argument or another energy depleting incident, you can spray all the rooms with a rose quartz essence. Purifying house energies with rose quartz crystals. In chakra healing, rose quartz is traditionally used to purify the heart, the place of deep emotion, and, in some ancient cultures, the soul. Associated with love, this sensitive stone dispels the bad atmosphere that most arguments bring and clears the air after an illness, children's tantrums, or a string of minor domestic problems. Pure and uplifting rose quartz can be used to clear residual negativity and bring happy harmony to your home. Our bodies are used to the natural electromagnetic emissions that come up through the Earth's surface, although they can be affected by distorted energy. However, we have not adjusted to artificial electromagnetic frequencies which can upset our immune systems because of the excessive electrical radiation that makes us more vulnerable to illnesses. Reducing TV electromagnetic stress with lepidolite. Lepidolite is a purplish fragile mineral that is a type of mica rich in the silvery metal lithium. A very common crystal, it can soothe an overstressed nervous system. The rough mica form of the crystal has greatly amplified properties that absorb any negative energies in a room, and its high vibratory rate also neutralizes artificial electromagnetic fields generated by televisions and other electrical equipment in the living room. A sure crystal cure would be to encourage everyone to move back away from the television set at least 6 to 10 feet as the EMF reduces the further away you sit. To help protect yourself from this radiation, take a lepidolite crystal in your hands for a few minutes and ask it to use its cleansing abilities to reduce the harmful EMFs emitted from your television. Now place it next to the set or, with reusable adhesive putty, stick it to the TV cabinet or the shelf itself that it sits on. Over the next few days, observe how you feel and see if you feel more grounded and energized as the crystal acts to purify your space. You can also use other EMF reducing crystals such as fluorite, which is highly protective. It dispels electromagnetic stress, and kunzite, which will shield you from unwanted energies, and it disperses negative forces. And crystals can be used for first aid for phone stress. If you work from home, your main form of communication with the outside world, aside from email, would be by your phone. As pressure builds on busy projects, some calls can become tense as you're asked to do several things at once. Keeping a special mix of carefully chosen de-stressing crystals by the phone can give you some protection from the debilitating vibrations of negative people or emotional vampires, as they're sometimes called, helping you handle difficult situations without losing your temper. Anger diffusing crystals can be used are blue lace agate, green aventurine, peridot, and red garnet. And for protection, you can use amethyst, bloodstone, brown jasper, or carnelian. It's best if you place the crystals in a bowl right near the telephone. Keeping away computer viruses with malachite. Malachite is a transformational crystal that lets you live life more intensely under its influence. Some people believe it will become one of the most prized healing stones of this century. Malachite is reputed to help with spiritual development and inner journeying. It is also very protective. Those who use it regularly say that it breaks into pieces when danger is near. Placed on your desk, malachite will soak up some of the electromagnetic pollution emitted by your computer and other appliances. You can make it your own personal guardian against viruses that can attack your computer via the internet and email. Its healing energy can be an added repellent to any new viruses that are attacking software programs, and can be used alongside your dedicated antivirus program. The stone dispels negativity, absorbing any radiation and pollutants that leak into the atmosphere. Pick up your stone and hold it firmly in your hand to feel its power and purifying abilities. Ask it to soak up any negativity from your office space or workspace and send out strong positive energetic rays around your computer to keep it virus-free. Circle the stone around the computer twice daily, morning and late afternoon. Cleanse the stone after each use under running water. We can also reduce cell phone emissions with amazonite, Amazonite, or Amazon stone, is known to protect against cell phone emissions because of its amazing filtering ability. Cell phones emit electromagnetic radiation to which our brains in particular are sensitive. Research has yet to prove whether these emissions can be harmful, but people who use their cell phones for long periods have reported symptoms of fatigue, headaches, and burning sensations in the area where the phone was held. The energy of Amazonite can help dissipate cell phone emissions along with calming the brain and nervous system. It is also reputed to help repair the body and heal the aura. In magical ritual, Amazonite is associated with success, so this crystal may just bring a little more sparkle to all your phone conversations. One sure crystal cure would be to use a cell phone only when really necessary and try to buy a phone that has one of the lowest recorded emissions of radiation. Use a hands-free device and make shorter calls when possible to minimize potential harm. To reduce health risks further, tape a small Amazonite crystal to your phone. The least conspicuous area is on the back of the phone. Amazonite will work hard for you to absorb and neutralize some of the radiation that a cell phone emits when it is held to your ear. In closing, I'd like to thank everyone for watching. Till next time, your host, Stefan Sindoni.